Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 4 on the zzCr4ft server, and this is the Hackster, and on this video we have big plans indeed. Oh yes, it's true. Yes, on this video, I knocked the torch off. In this video, we are going to start something spectacular with Bagel. That's right, it's been talked about, it's been whispered, rumors have been flying abound, but it is true, and it is finally going to come to pass that me and Bagel are going to join forces, and we are going to be creating the HB Empire. Yes, it's true. We are going to be joining forces, and we're going to be creating some amazing things, mostly in the shopping district, because that is something that I think this server desperately needs, is more shopping options, and we're gonna corner the market, I tell you. So in this episode we're gonna be teaming up with Bagel. We're gonna be having a secret meeting, and we're gonna talk about future plans on our team up. Well, if you have a couple of minutes, I have a proposal for you.
Ooh, go ahead, you can speak. I'm just gonna keep on dying in the background while you do that.
You have to come to my meeting room in order to hear the proposal.
Ooh, is this the hacking dolphin meet?
Maybe.
The
Maybe.
where are you right now? I'll meet you at spawn.
I'm at my base, but I'm gonna sleep, and then I can always
Oh,
meet you.
okay.
I can always meet you at spawn if you want.
All right, awesome.
All right. There's a boat for
Ooh,
you.
is all right. Do you want to get in so you can drive me? Or okay, you can use 2 boats. So fancy.
I know. I brought you a boat. I thought ahead.
Wow, thanks for the boat. Well, both my boats are being occupied by turtles, so.
Well, there you go. Now you can have another boat.
All right.
All right. So the secret meeting room's right here. All right. So here is the proposal.
Mhm.
We vaguely talked about before of having a team up, and I think that that's a good idea. So I propose
Okay,
that
then.
we team up and get some combo builds going on. I have some ideas on what we can do collaboration wise,
Mhm.
and so I've already thought of kind of a logo. And so
Ooh,
if we
okay.
go through this door right here and into this room,
All right. Mhm.
that's the logo
Ooh.
right there.
Ooh, okay. Fancy.
Yeah.
What does it stand for? Hacking bagels?
Well, it's just HB, Hackster and Bagel, so we could be like
Okay.
HB Enterprises or HB Co. or Incorporated or whatever. But so
Okay.
yeah, I was thinking this is the logo.
This
Maybe,
is fancy. I feel like I ruined it by not being able to traverse the nether properly, but
but yeah, I was thinking, we incorporate this logo, and I'll explain back in the meeting room what the
okay, heading
plan
back to the meter.
is here. So,
Okay.
have you been to the shopping district?
Yeah, the bookshelf
The
store?
bookshelf
Or
store. What do you think is missing from the shopping district?
everything else?
Everything else. Exactly. Such a huge exploitable resource. All right.
You see, the problem is we have nothing.
Well, see, that's why we're gonna collaborate. So, my thought is that if you help with the builds themselves and make them all pretty, I'll help you gather the resources that you need to build them, and then I will set the prices for the shops, and then we'll
Hmm.
split the profits 50-50.
I like that because it sounds like I do nothing except for build, which
Well,
is what I
that's
enjoy
your
doing.
specialty. Exactly. You got to make them look nice and inviting. Um,
Hmm.
and then
I like
and then
that.
we just got to keep them stocked up is all. So and then
So does this meeting have like food? Because I'm at 3 bars, so I can't
we
sprint anymore.
we can go over to my base and we can get some chicken from my farm. So yeah, as far as the beastly name goes, if you think of something, you can propose it up, and maybe we'll let people vote on it. Not that I have many viewers for people to vote, but maybe you've got more viewers and they can vote on
I've
it.
had, I mean, if I'm lucky, this video will get maybe like 200 views in 4 days or so. So
Yeah,
that's like
mine get like 2 views in 4 days, so you definitely got me beat there. So
I'm one of those. So
yeah, yeah,
views.
that's good. I hope people
Anyway,
comment and
I hope
give
people check out
feedback.
your channel too.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see.
Feel free to tag like Ramen Nation in your video so that people when they search up my name, they might scroll down and find your thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could try that.
hmm Anyway, I mean, for now we can go with like a couple of simple names. Look at the HB. This is a really cool logo, so we could go with like I don't know, high pixel, high bagel. But you're the hackster, so we can't do that.
Hack
We can
bagel.
go like
Hack bagel.
hack bagel. Um, HB Empires.
Yeah, HB Empires could be a thing.
Yeah, because I'm in the medieval district, so that could work.
Yeah, that could work. Maybe that's where
Uh,
HB Empires is gonna, that's where the headquarters is.
that's where the HB essence comes from.
All right, so it's official. Me and Bagel have teamed up to form the HB Empire. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. All your future shopping needs are going to come through me and Bagel, and we're going to provide everything you could possibly desire. That's right. So I cut the video off a little bit short when I was with Bagel because, we continue to plan and I don't want to spoil any of our future plans. So you just have to stay tuned. And you're going to have to watch our videos so that you can see the things that we build and all the money that we rake in. So yes, we're going to exploit the fact that the shopping district right now really doesn't have a lot of shopping options. So yeah, this is going to be fun and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be awesome. So I did tell Bagel one plan that we had was to build a big just a big general mob spawner. So I do need to figure out what the dimensions of that spawner are, and then he's going to build the building around it. So I'm going to hop over to a testing world, and we're going to take a look at a few designs and figure out what kind of dimensions we're going to need so that Bagel has what he needs to be able to build the building. Alright guys, so here we are in the redstone testing world again. As you can see, I got my chicken stuff over there and my disgustingly ugly building over there that hopefully I don't have to worry about anymore now that Bagel and me have teamed up. So I've come up with two designs for the mob spawner. So the idea here being is that this lower platform's kind of at sea level. That's the level that in the game that I needed to build up from. And then I don't know if these are too tall. Bagel's going to have to let me know, if this is too high up in the air. Maybe he wants something lower, closer to the water itself. So, I mean, there's obviously some room in there to change up things a little bit. And there's two designs. Like I said, this one is a very tall design. This one actually spawns spiders as well. That's why there's cactus here. It keeps the spiders from wanting to crawl back up the chamber here. And I'll give you just a quick look at how this is put together. So obviously we got two different lines of redstone here. One of them is to control redstone lamps, which provide light so that you can turn this thing on and off. And then the bottom one here is for the water. And so if we take a look in here, I'll show you real quick. If I can get in there, there we go. I don't know why one of the redstone lamps disappeared, that's weird. But we'll put it back. Oh, because I was playing around with the design. Yeah, because I was thinking about making them only 2 wide instead of 3 wide. But yeah, this one will produce spiders as well as all the rest of the mobs that you would normally find. So I'm just going to put this back real quick. Just like that. And so the mobs would spawn, they would fall down to the water stream, and then they would fall down to the bottom. The other design, which is over here, this one's a lot more linear designed, so it's not quite as tall. This one, however, is only the chambers are only 2 wide. So if you take a look in here, you'll see that they're only 2 wide, and the reason is it's because I don't want spiders spawning in here. I only want creepers and skeletons, witches, zombies. I don't want spiders at all. And the hole is only 1 wide, as you can see. They're all kind of fighting to get it through the hole. But then they would travel along this waterway, and then they would shoot up, and then they would fall back down again. And once they've fallen down, it's just a one-hit kill on all of them. So that way you can get the experience, and the loot would fall below. So right below these slabs right here, there would be room for hoppers. I don't have the hoppers in there on that one. I have them on the other one. But then you would have a collection system for the hoppers. So if there was a hopper line, maybe it would feed into a dropper, which then would eject everything into another water stream, and then it would flow back up and into some sort of storage system. So that way everything could be on the same level. So when you're standing here, you would just walk into another room, and that's where all the loot would be accumulated. So I'm not sure which design Bagel's going to prefer. I kind of prefer this linear design, only because we can stack a lot more of these spawning chambers on top of one another. With this one being so tall, it limits how many you can stack up on top. But this one, you could stack up quite a few on top of each other. So I kind of prefer this one. You'll notice that there's like a redstone line going up the back here. And I played around with this for quite a while. I tried to turn this into, if you just wanted to go AFK and gather a bunch of loot and not necessarily get the experience, that's what this button was for. It dispenses the lava, and so they would fall through the lava before falling to the bottom. The only flaw with this design that I have found so far is that while skeletons and zombies fall through and die, the creepers, for some reason, are exceptional swimmers. They actually swim so well, in fact, that they try to swim back up the lava, and then they just die in the lava itself, and they don't drop anything. So I'm not exactly sure if I can fix that, or if there is a way around that. If you guys have any ideas on a different way to hurt them on the way down, so that they can just die here at the bottom, please let me know in the comments, because I'm trying to think of other ways to do this, and I haven't thought of any yet, but I'm sure there is another way, and I just haven't thought of it. So please do let me know what you guys' thoughts on that are. But yeah, these are the 2 designs, and I'm going to let Bagel decide which one he prefers, and then we will decide from that point how we want to proceed with the build for this massive mob spawner. Oh, and I did forget to mention, it's not just going to be one-sided. There will be chambers on this side as well, and then we can stack those chambers as high up as we need to, and then these redstone lines would be on both sides, and they would all feed back to a single lever that you would pull to turn the system on and off. And that helps eliminate lag on the server, to have those redstone lamps, so there's not constantly mobs spawning in these chambers when you don't want this thing to be on. So yeah, I really think that this is a good design. I think this is the way that we need to go, and we'll just have to wait and see what Bagel says. Okay, so I've been playing around with this for quite a while now, and I think I might have come up with a solution. So basically, all I did is I hooked this up to a hopper clock, so that the water automatically turns on and off, and then I can turn this thing on and off. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights off so that this thing gets kick-started. And the big change that I made here, one, I made it so that on the inside, it's actually a 3x1 hole that they can fall into, because if we get both sides of this populated and it's like 10 stories high, Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of mobs falling in, and to squeeze them all into a 1x1 hole wasn't really gonna work. So we made that a 3x1 hole. They fall down here. They go up there just like normal. The big change here is that if you don't want it to be an experience grinder, you would just flick this lever, and there is another hopper clock back here. There's a hopper clock that's hooked up to an observer, so when the observer sees the output change, it comes into this pulse extender. When this pulse extender gets triggered, it also triggers another pulse extender-ish type thing. So technically there's two signals. So there's one signal that goes off right away and triggers the lava buckets, and then there's another one that triggers about a second later to turn them back off again. So that way, the lava is not just like constantly on and then constantly off. It gets turned on, and then it quickly gets turned off again. So we just saw there, he died, so that's exactly what we wanted. And the hopper clock, we can adjust that to be any length of time. Right now I've got 2 stacks in there, but we could increase that time so that way more mobs accumulate in here before it triggers. And yeah, and I can shorten the amount of time that it triggers to. Right now I've got it on about 8, let's see, I got it about 16 ticks worth. So, I could shorten that so that the lava buckets aren't dispensed quite as long. And yeah, I think this is a good system. I think this is what we're going to use. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build this out completely, and I'm going to build it up, several stories high. And then we're going to test this thing to see what kind of mob drops it's giving us, and how much loot we're going to be able to get. Like, say, like an hour. If you were to go AFK for an hour, how much loot do we get? How much experience could we get, in 15 minutes grinding at this thing? That way you have some statistics to help us know how effective this thing is. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Alright guys, so this is what we got so far. I know it looks crazy. Really, that's just a lot of redstone. It's just a lot of wiring to the water and to the redstone lamps. The green one is for the lamps, the blue one is for the water. They're on 2 different circuits, as you can see here. The yellow is like the input color. Get rid of that. So, yeah, there's a lever on the other side of this wall, which is right here at the killing chamber. So if you want the system off, then it's down. If you want the system on, then it's up. And then if you want it to be an experience grinder, you have it up, and if you want it just to be drops only, it's down. So the idea here being is that if the lever is down, the system is off, which means that the redstone lamps are turned on, and that's through this signal right here that goes to the green. And then this signal for the blue, it uses an AND gate. It's got a NOR in front of it though, so it's kind of like a NAND gate, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. So this is off when this is on, and then in order for the signal for the water to get triggered, this one has to be off, and then this is on a redstone clock, so it's just constantly feeding a signal in here. But the only way that the signal can go up is if both of these are on, and then that will allow a signal to travel up, and that will cycle the water buckets on and off. So right now I've got 6 layers with this particular build. As you can see, I mean, it's really not that difficult. Like I say, it just looks crazy because of all the wiring. And the funny thing is that one up there, if you put it next to each other, you can see why I like this build so much better. It feels a lot more compact. It's not so much wasted empty space, because this is actually not quite as tall as that one, and that's just 1 level, whereas this is 6 levels, basically in the same almost footprint. It's a little bit wider because of the killing chamber and stuff having to go up and then back down again. But yeah, I definitely like this design. We'll take a look on the inside here. It's just a repeating pattern all the way up each level. and they would just fall down here, as we've already seen. I did change the design a little bit so that it's actually 3 tall, so each layer is actually 4 blocks tall. And the reason for that is, if you look out here with the wiring, I needed it to have at least one gap between the 2 different circuits, which is fine. I mean, it'll still work. So I'm going to go ahead and test this thing, see how much mob drops we get in probably about an hour. We'll give it an hour, see how much mob drops we get, and then maybe I'll try another test run for 15 minutes to see how many levels I can get in 15 minutes. Alright, so I've let this run for about an hour. Let's come down here and check out how much we got. Yeah, I would say that's pretty good. You know, we got almost a half double chest worth. Got lots of gunpowder and bones, so I think this is working pretty well. So next thing I'm going to see is how much experience I get in about 15 minutes time. Alright, so I've just gotten to the 15-minute mark, and we got just a little over 31 levels in the 15 minutes, and I think we could actually do better. I'm going to make some adjustments to the hopper timings for the waters, and we're going to see if we can't get some better results than that. Alright guys, I've made some adjustments to the hopper timings, and I've got another 15 minutes, and the results are slightly better. I think what's really capping this is the amount of spawnable surfaces that I currently have inside the mob grinder itself. So we're going to go big or go home. I'm going to double the size of that spawner. You know what? And I might even build another one next to it. I might just go crazy and see what this thing can do. So let's check that out. Okay, so I've been letting this run for about an hour, and I just turned it off, so hopefully the system should stop sending people this direction. But I also killed people for about 15 minutes too, with the new setup, and I got 42 levels, which is pretty significant. You know, I think that means that this thing's working pretty well. I think when I initially put this together, though, one of the problems I had was that I put the killing chamber too close to the actual mob spawner, and so if it's too close, that means the mobs won't actually spawn. So I just need to make sure that when I build this or on the server, that I don't build the killing chamber so close. But yeah, I mean, it seems to have been working pretty well. The only problem is that when you put it on the loot only, it doesn't kill the witches. The darn witches, they just keep healing themselves, and they never die, so that's the only problem, is eventually you just get tons of witches that just accumulate in here. But that's okay, we'll just kill the witches. Die. Die. They just don't want to die. Come on. Die. Die. Two left. One left. Alright, finally. Alright, so let's switch this back over into creative. Let's go take a look at how much drops we got in that hour. Yeah, I would say that that's pretty good. I think that this system is going to work really awesome. So I'm going to plan that this is what we're going to build on the server. You know, and this thing can be expanded too. So, you know, I could, in time, you know, build a second one right next to it. And I might build it with the idea that eventually there is going to be two compartments, and I'll probably make them each 10 layers tall. So I think this is a good setup, and I think this is what I'm going to go with. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate that you've stuck around this long. This is kind of a longer video, and I apologize for that. But I'm excited that this is going to be our future build on the server. It looks massive and amazing, and I'm excited and I look forward to building that. I'm going to get with Bagel. We're going to figure out how that's going to work, and figure out how we're going to put that together between the two of us. So if you really like this video, make sure to hit that like button. It helps me to know that you guys enjoy this kind of stuff. if you really love this video, then make sure to hit subscribe, because that helps out the channel. And please leave any comments below, things that you liked, didn't like, things that I did wrong or could have done better. You know, I'm always open to better comments, and even the bad comments and everything in between. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for sticking around and watching this video, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.